Hello, friend. I want to speak to you briefly on the concept of the cost of clarity. We all want God to make it clear. God, just show me what to do. Just make it clear. And oftentimes, when we're asking God to make it clear, there comes a cost with it. Let me explain this. If God were to reveal to you to be a youth pastor at a specific church in Chicago, Illinois, then you're held accountable to that word. So when God makes it absolutely clear what you're to do, if you go to another place in Illinois, you're outside the will of God. When He told you, youth pastor, specific church, Chicago, Illinois. So if you even go to Chicago, but you're not youth pastoring at that specific church, you're outside the will of God or the directional path that you're supposed to be on. So when the Lord gives you an aim, that's the direction you go in. Oftentimes God doesn't make it absolutely clear because He wants to give you grace for the journey. There's a mercy that's extended to us when He doesn't make it clear. So if He just kind of gives you a roundabout idea, somewhere in Chicago, something about youth. And so what happens is you have grace for the journey and you learn lessons along the way. We'll come to realize really quick, we'll live in much greater peace if we view each season in life as a learning opportunity instead of a launching pad. And so in the vagueness of God, He oftentimes gives us a compass, not a map. Map says there's details for confirmation. You know exactly where you're doing, exactly where you're at. But when He gives you a compass, it's just a roundabout idea of what you're to be doing. Why is that? Because God makes it about the journey and the relationship along the way on the journey. He cares more about your heart and your mind and relationship with you. He's into friendship with you. He's into sonship with you. He wants to make this thing real and not about a religion and a list of do's and don'ts. So He gives you a direction to follow along. So there's grace if you're in, let's say the word was youth in Chicago, and so you go there, you work with the youth, but you're at a YMCA. You're still within the parameters of the will of God for your life because He didn't tell you specifically youth pastor at this church in Chicago, Illinois. Once God makes something clear to you, you have to obey. So the vagueness gives you room to receive grace and mercy for the journey. If there's precision, you're tethered to that in obedience. And if you move your life any measure outside of that perfect obedience, you're in sin. So friend, it's okay for God to be vague. He oftentimes gives us a compass instead of a map. The cost of clarity comes a price tag every time God makes it clear to you. Because if you're not in obedience, rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. God bless and great success.